This is Andi Purewal for Boxing News. I'm joined by Johnny Nelson here in Telford. Johnny, take two. Just had to quickly go and run off do something there. But yeah, here you are in Telford. Would never imagine that I'd have saw you here.
I was out here with a couple of my mates on my mate's birthday actually a few weeks ago. So surprisingly, I'm back again. But you know what? It's a great chance and a platform to give grassroots once again the opportunity to get out there and to try and steal the limelight, try and get one step further in their career. We have Izzy from GBM Promotions in Sheffield doing it. There's not many promoters that are willing to take the risk, willing to go through the headache, the heartache. They have to hustle around without TV to put such shows on to create such opportunities. So the box office is doing something really good, and I'm glad, I'm honoured to be involved in it.
Walk me through the box off from your perspective and the hopes for your team. I know you're a very competitive man, Johnny, so I'm sure you want to win every fight and you want to see your team come out on top as quickly as possible.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I know Ricky's there and he's coming. I'm thinking, bloody hell, Sheffield against Manchester again, Yorkshire against Manchester again. So it's nice, comfortable rivalry. And but I'll make sure my boys and girls are fired up for this fight.
John, just wanted to get your thoughts on a few other topics. Obviously, a couple of weeks ago now, it might have been last weekend rather, we saw Canelo-Eubank Jr overcome Liam Smith. What did you make of that victory? A bit of time now to reflect.
You know what? Absolutely outstanding. The problem was this, Chris wanted us to believe him. He said it was a miracle. You were lucky. Now looking back on it in hindsight, yes, he was winning every round until he got knocked out in the first fight. But then Chris turned it around in the way he beat Liam. To me, you've got to humble yourself, because anybody that tells me they thought he's got this, he's done this, he's won this before the fight are talking shit. And Chris surprised everybody apart from his own circle of friends. And I was humbled enough to go back into the dressing room afterwards to say, you know what, big respect. I didn't give you the opportunity. I wrote you off. Didn't think there was anything you could do to actually turn this around. If I tried to be a smart ass before the fight and say Chris Eubank wins, then I'm opening myself up to the criticism that I see sometimes. It's because it's a black fight, because it's a white fight, because it's an XYZ fighter. Chris gave us no justifiable reasoning to say he wins the second fight. So you've got to go with what you see in the facts of how you saw it. So how he pulled it off and the way he pulled it off, you've got to give him as much praise as we gave him criticism from the first fight, and that's why maximum props. Now, I know in the first fight, I thought Liam, basked in the glory, didn't want no excuses. The second fight should be saying no excuses. So if anybody's saying about Liam had an injury, something about, I'm not having it, because vice versa, it worked both ways. What do I think would happen after this? I would be very surprised if Liam Smith carries on his professional boxing career. Now, they might offer him a lot of money for a rematch, but the Smith brothers are very proud. They take that shit serious.
Because they're proud, would you not think, especially knowing Liam, that he wouldn't want to go out like that?
Not with the way of not with that kind of beating. Not with the kind of beating he got. And so I'd be very surprised if he said, yeah, I'm boxing on. For him to lose like that to another domestic fighter, for a Smith, he's thinking, you know what? I've had my day, and so if he can beat me, I'm done. I will be very, very surprised. Yeah, I've been wrong before, but I'm just going on common sense. In fact, what you see in front of you. But Liam Smith has been an amazing fighter. The Smith family, the Smith boys, amazing family. But I won't be surprised if down the line, right now, you might look at this video and say you're full of shit, Nelson, and in a few weeks' time, we'll think, you know what, he's right. But I wouldn't be surprised.
Obviously, after the fight, we saw Junior call out two men ringside, Conor Ben and well, Kell Brook. What do you understand? Anything going on there? Has Kell spoken to you at all about a potential fight there?
I think Junior conducted himself very cool and professionally after the win. He could have pointed and shouted and screamed at everybody out there. Still the businessman, still the clever, articulate, annoying fighter he can be because of how he is, and he set the cat amongst the pigeons. Yeah, let's do this. Mention the names, the opportunities, and so in doing that, now all of a sudden the sharks are around ringside. They were there looking at it, and Conor Kell. They're all thinking, yeah, rubbing their hands together, have a piece of this action. Chris is back in the driving seat in regards to which way he goes and what he goes for, and which one pays him the most amount of money. So the world is his oyster.
Does Kell still have the intention to return?
I've made it quite. I don't know. I know Kell's in the gym. Kell's ticking over, and any fighter that says, I'm trying to think of it from Kell's point of view. Kell will be in the gym training, and it's a great idea until training gets hard, and then the reality of thinking, nah, I don't need his comeback. It's too hard. But when you're not training hard, when you're not got a diet, when you're not going to get up and run or train or spar when you don't want to, then it's easy to do that. But when you have to do it, then you're making decisions. Do I need this enough? Do I want this enough? So is he making the right decision? I personally don't think he is, because you're still going to have to quench that thirst, put that fire out eventually. And that fire's burning him, that fire's teasing him to say, come on, one more day, one more fight. We need to be saved by it from ourselves. But Kell's not in it. He'll do what's best for him.
Johnny, just one final one with Junior. He's called out for a fight with Canelo.
Yeah.
Interested, how do you think he'd fare if ever that fight was to come about?
Well, we've heard it before when he called out Golovkin. And once you put the two names together, you elevate one name to the others. And so him calling out Canelo, this is the same situation. Will Canelo look back at Junior and think this is lucrative or financially beneficial to me? He'll look at it, but I don't think he thinks it will. He thinks it will. But it's good to mention and get your name in the mix with others that are there. So I understand what he's doing. Junior's a clever guy. You know, he's smart in what he's doing, and so you've got to give him props.
Would you like to see it?
Yeah. Why not? Well, Canelo's beatable. Trust me, he's beatable, and people think he's been beaten before, and people think a fight is unbeatable until he's beaten. So yeah, I would like to see it.
Johnny, just move up to heavyweight division. Joshua Wilder at the minute, it seems to be like it's not going to happen with everything that's being reported. Is it a surprise to you? What have you made of kind of a fallout around that?
I'm not surprised about it at all. Even after his last fight, I said he doesn't need that fight next. Don't do it. I'm glad it's not happening next. And for whatever reason, their team might have the same reason. You know what? Let's just be sure of sure. Because you can't go in there hesitant like that against a Wilder. So it might be that. You know, I can't realistically see it being any other reason. So I'm glad it's not next. For Ray J's sake.
Sticking with the other leading heavyweight from the UK, Tyson Fury, Francis Ngannou. Tyson's obviously come in for a lot of criticism for taking that fight, not maybe pursuing the Alexander Usyk fight a little bit more. Do you understand that criticism? Does he deserve the criticism thrown his way?
Tyson Fury's a prize fighter. He's managing to get in there to fight a fighter that's not had one professional fight and get paid millions. He's getting paid mad money. And we all enter this sport, one, because we like fighting, and two, because we like getting paid. So he's getting paid against somebody that's never boxed professionally before in his life. So good on him. Well done. You know, props to him, massively. In regards to trying to sell it to the public, to say it's a game changer, it's X, Y, Z, now that's insulting. I think as a financial business move, good on him. He's making the most out of our game, and so props to him. You know, you can't knock it.
Johnny, Zhang-Joyce 2 next weekend. Will Joe Joyce get his revenge in that one?
I think Joe gets revenge. I think Joe has learned his lesson. Joe came up up against a bigger version of himself, and made the same mistake against him as his previous opponents have against him. He got greedy. He got there, tried to fight fire with fire, dropped down in weight, and thought he could beat the fight out of Zhang. Now I think if Joe boxes at his pace, don't get greedy when the shots are there to be taken, don't punch yourself out. Don't leave yourself in the firing line. Joe wins. He wins on points or a late stoppage, but I think Joe wins.
Johnny, there's a huge fight taking place in Sheffield on October 7th between Lee Wood and Josh Warrington. Yeah. It's divided opinion. Has it divided your opinion?
I know Lee Wood's got an amazing engine on him. Lee Wood will not leave you alone, and so. Sorry, Josh Warrington has got an amazing engine on him. He will not leave you alone. Lee Woods, if his heart is to be broken And if there's somebody out there to do it, it's Josh Warrington. But I think Lee is now finding his own. He's matured as a fighter, believes in everything he's capable of doing. So I think that's a slick fighter. Lee's an Ingalls style kind of fighter, so I've got to back that every day of the week. Josh is not the fighter he was, but the fighter he is. He's still very, very dangerous. So I'm going Lee Wood. Good fight. I'll be there. Sheffield, home ground.
Johnny, I know you've got a show on the 30th with Sky Caroline Dubois, obviously headlining that one, but on the other side of London, Matchroom have a show, and I'll go back up to your old division, cruiserweight division. Jordan Thompson attempts to become world champion when he faces Jai Opetaia. It's a tall ask, he's never boxed anywhere near that level before. Will he upset the odds, or do you think it might just be a step too far?
There's always a possibility. I remember I boxed Carlos de Leon, and I wasn't on paper, shouldn't have been in there. I got a draw, stunk the place out, but it's about opportunities. And so again, the opportunity is there. It doesn't mean if he loses, it's the end of the road. It just means if he wins, he's leapfrogged a lot of experience that he's got to go through. But the thing is, when you're in deep water, if he wins, he's in deep water. He has to stay in deep water. You can't step down and box lesser opponents. So this is an opportunity he's taking all of, and I like that. I like that.
Just final couple to wrap up on the night. During the night for us, we have Canelo-Charlo. We mentioned Canelo earlier. Too tall of a task for Charlo moving up, or do you think he could dethrone Canelo?
Again, don't be surprised if Charlo is the guy that manages to pickpocket Canelo. Canelo's an outstanding fighter, another fighter that's not the fighter he was, but the fighter he's beats 98% of fighters in the world. Charlo, on the other hand, you know what? I'm seriously starting to favour him to pull this off, because I think he has all the ingredients to do that.
Just a final one, Johnny. Buatsi-Azeez, an unbelievable fight. Everybody looking forward to that one. Have you got a prediction?
I like both fighters, and this is one where I'm going to sit on the fence, because I've got to be respectful to two guys that I really like, and two guys that I know have got the opportunity, got the capability of winning. Of course, you're going to have to go on form and go at the records and look at Buatsi and think Buatsi is the favourite, and he is the favourite. Azeez has smashed through, and all of a sudden he's there in a great position. So in doing that, you've got to give respect to both fighters regardless, and I just hate the fact that there's going to be a loser, but massive respect to both fighters.
Johnny, I just had a quick change of my SD cards there because we was wrapping up, but I'm going to leave a final word to yourself. Here in Telford, anything you'd like to leave on?
I'd wish to my condolences to Michael Smith's family. We all know him as Bruno, the security guard that's always with Carl Froch when he turns up. He was a nice guy, respectful guy, funny guy. I've known Bruno for years, and unfortunately passed away this morning at 5 a.m. I spoke to his brother. His brother has asked me to let people know that. If you know Bruno, if you've come across Bruno, you know what I'm talking about. And this is a hard time. No words will make any difference to this situation, but I'm just showing my respect, condolences to Michael, his family, his child, his woman, his wife, and so it's a tough time for families out there. So Bruno, rest in peace, my friend.
John, obviously very kind words, and our thoughts and condolences go out to Bruno, his family and his loved ones at this difficult time. But yeah, thank you for speaking to me, and good luck tomorrow night.
Nice one. Sheffield.